Hello and welcome to my presentation. My project is a self-care app, the development, promotion and launch. So I am the project sponsor, Aileen Fang, and the project stakeholders are obviously the investors, app developers, social media manager, and the product testers, which might also be referred to as focus group in this slide. Product justification. So bridging the gap between self-help and technology is so important. Self-improvement is a growing industry which features a wide variety of diverse products, from books to DVDs to one-on-one counseling. And the self-care app aims to enrich people's lives by allowing them to understand their needs and how they degrade over time. This is by using video game-inspired status bars, which consumers will be able to view their current needs and wants. So you can see it here on the next slide. There's the physical, mental, and emotional needs, and obviously the app will be customizable. People will be able to choose what their needs actually are, and also the kind of graphics that they want to include with that. Project scope. So to complete the project, resources will be allocated to creating the app, collecting primary research from product testers, and obviously promoting the app through social media marketing and some traditional advertisements. And now the deliverables. So milestone number 1 is researching and creating the initial demo. This is so we can lay a great foundation. And milestone number 2 is developing the actual app and beginning promotions. And milestone number 3 is obviously launching the actual app. There will also be weekly review and stakeholder reports every Friday. Project success. So the project will be successful when all milestones are reached and if the app has been marketed to the target audience. Now, let's move on to goals and objectives. In phase 1, it's the initial planning and brainstorming. So we'll be doing things like discussing the project objectives and timeline, presenting the market analysis, discussing apps ideas, target audiences, and what success will look like. That way, everybody on the team will be on board and understand our goals. Number 2 will be planning and researching. So researching similar apps in the self-help niche so we understand the competition, planning the visual aesthetics, and outlining the potential glitches and any copyright and patent issues that we might fall into. This is just to reduce any legal problems we could run into. So the next goal is developing the wireframe and back end of the app. The wireframe sort of is like the skeleton of the app, and so if you have a good skeleton, it will obviously be a great foundation for the actual app. And so we would examine the functionality and usability, and also developing an initial demo. That way, in the next phase, we can get some receive some feedback and further development. So this is through focus groups, which you can use to get reviews, and that way we can discuss changes with the developers and figure out what we need to do to make the app more user-friendly, and also we can finalize the app structure. Now, moving on to goals and phase number 2, we're going to begin building the app in March 2018. So building the self-care app and signing up for Google Play and the Apple App Stores, because there's just different things that happen with each app store. So in the design and user interface, obviously we need to create a great user interface, develop layout and formatting, and just refer to the previous feedback for inspiration and guidance. Next, we'll be receiving feedback for the finished app and making any necessary changes, and that'll bring us through to the end of May 2018. This allows the focus group to review the app again, and we can discuss feedback and possible changes and obviously any alterations. That way we can get everything sort of polished before we begin to beta test on the Android and App Store. That way we can also begin creating pre-launch hype through social media advertising. That's when our social media manager will get involved. And also we can just create brand awareness. And then finally, July 30th, 2018 will be the app launch. So we can make alterations depending on the beta testing feedback, boosting awareness, and obviously moving on through different versions after the app has been launched. So for scope, timeline, and stakeholders in phase 1, the initial stakeholders for the planning and brainstorming phase will just be obviously me, the CEO, developers, for the app, and the social media manager, and we'll be working together through the planning and research phase as well. That way the social media manager will have their insights, the developers will have their expertise, and obviously I'll have my own sort of thoughts about it. And then moving on to the developing the wire framework, it'll be obviously me and the app developers. And then when we get feedback, we'll be getting the product testers in for their advice. So in phase 2, me and the developers will be working on building the app, and then also with the designer and the user interface. And in the next part, we'll be doing more feedback, obviously, because having sort of engagement allows us to create the best possible version of this app. And we'll be bringing in the product testers yet again for that. And next, obviously, with beta testing and social media promotions, we'll need the social media manager to have their insights. And with the app launch, everyone will be involved just to make sure that it runs smoothly, there's no glitches or malfunctions. I mean, obviously, so moving on to key risk factors, app glitches are prone to malfunctioning, especially during beta testing phases because it's not a fully formed app yet. However, with the best app developers that we have, we'll be able to work through that. Also, there's data collection. People may feel uncomfortable with an app collecting information about their needs and wants, so it'll be going through sort of ways to overcome that. Potential app launch failure if the target market doesn't respond positively to the app, social media campaign issues if the promotions fail, liability if the app tells the people the wrong thing, which leads to harm or lawsuits, as they're just also, technological changes could have a great impact on how the app can help people interact. So yeah. Dependencies. So obviously, since we are making an app, we're dependent on technology because of the software needed, the trends, and also without a functioning app store, the app would not be downloadable. So we need to keep a great eye on technology. And also the self-improvement market, we're dependent on a positive reaction from the market to engage with the app because they'll probably be the first people to want to download the app, and then that can help it spread like wildfire. So yeah, moving on to the reducing risks and dependencies. So staying aware of market trends is obviously important, following the technological advancements. So for example, we could integrate an interface for smartwatches or iPads, that way people can have it when they're on the go. Also engaging with social media for promotion and listening to focus group feedback to make changes accordingly. So the anticipated deliverables will be obviously having a completed self-care app, a successful social media promotion, and a dedicated team to monitor the growth of the app. In conclusion, the creation of the self-care app is going to be a lengthy process which must undergo rigorous research, feedback, and amendments. These are to ensure the quality and functionality of the app. The self-improvement market is highly saturated. However, this self-care app has the capacity to differentiate itself from the market. This is completed through carefully watching social and technological trends and engaging with the latest social networks. Product testers and beta testing also create feedback which can be used to improve the app. The project is anticipated to last between November 30th to July 30th, 2018. This will allow for sufficient time for each team member to utilize their abilities to create a successful app and app launch. So yeah, thank you so much for listening and watching.